We now arrive to the part that I think most of you are waiting. We will start integrating the OpenAI API in our application. So in order to do that, you need to go to this link. This link, you will find it attached to this tutorial. So now let's go to the documentation. Then once it is loaded, scroll down and the API reference. You can press here on the introduction, and here you will find everything you need. Of course, here the tabs. You can press directly on this, for example, and it will take you to the next one. Okay, to the one you need. If you need the models, for example, you can directly press here. Now let's go step by step. For the authentication, you need something called API key. And I suppose that you already know what is API key and what is REST API. And if you don't, please watch the courses I made about the REST APIs and you will understand it perfectly. Okay, so we need this authorization and add the bearer and our API key. So we need this API key. In order to get this API key, we need to press here and then press on View API Keys. And in here, you can create a new secret key and you will have it. For now, I will go back. And then if we want to answer a question, we can go to making requests. So here they are talking about the API key. And in here we have an example. So this is until here what we call a base URL. And how did I know this? If you compare, for example, the model's request here, it is the same URL. So this is the base URL we have. Let's go back here again. Then we will need to add this content type. Then we will need to add the authorization, as I told you. Then we will need to add this to the body. Okay? And if you see here, we have this model and we have the name of the model. So this is why we need to fetch the models, because each model will give us different output. Perfect. So now before that we actually start using it in our code, we can test it using the Postman. So for that, I will open the Postman and then press here, File, New, then HTTP request. In my case, I will copy this URL, then paste it here. The method is actually post method. Then for the authorization, you need to press on the bearer token and add your token here. Then let's go back. We need to add the content type, and it is application JSON. So copy all of this, then go to the Postman, then go to the header here, and then scroll down and in here in the key, paste what you have and fix it like that, and then add the value just like that. Okay, and be careful of the spacing. So the authentication that we added here, the authorization for the bearer token here, it is appearing also in here. Okay, and you can edit it. Then let's go back. And finally, we have this JSON data. So let's copy all of this, then go back to the Postman. We press on the body. This API takes raw data, and we paste our data here, and then we press send. And here we got the response. So we have the model name here, and here we have the message. Okay, so if I change this, for example, hello, what is Flutter, and send another request, we will get this. Okay, and this token, if I change it, for example, to 100, hit send, and now I have the full answer it's showing here. Okay, so now I will remove this temperature because we will not using it. We will not use it, I mean, and we're still getting a response. Now, what I wanted to show you is that, for example, let's say change this name and send, and of course we should get an error, and here it is. And of course, in our codes, we need to make something to handle the errors, so I will explain it for you in details later on. But for now, I will just keep it like that. And now let's go back to the documentation, and here let's try the model also. So let's copy this, and in here it shows it is a get method. Let's press on the plus button, paste it here, and be careful of the spacing. And then we need the authorization only. So here in the authorization, just add the bearer token and now send the request, and now you will have it here. So this request actually is returning the whole model that we were showing here. So later on, we will fetch it from the API and we will display it here. And the ID actually what matters. So if I come back here, in this case, they used this model. Here, if I search, we can find it here as an ID. Okay? ID and root. Okay. So in our case, we need to save this ID. Now, before that I end this tutorial, what we can do actually is, for example, I will go back to the post method because it is shorter, and I will copy this, and here we can do, for example, JSON to Dart parser, let's say. And now you can go to this link and paste your data here and press generate Dart, and in this case it will generate the model class for you. Okay, and you will have this factory constructor here from JSON and to JSON also. This is a fast tool, you can benefit from it, but in our case I will explain it in details for you, and we will write it by our hands. We won't take it from here. Okay, but I just wanted to give you more information, so this is why I'm talking about it. So I think this was all for this tutorial. In the next tutorial we'll start fetching the models. Stay tuned and I'll see you there.